Hello everybody, welcome back once again to another video. In this particular video, we're going to be talking about this brand new solution for the 2011 to 2017 Jeep Wrangler. Yes, an awesome solution for the JK. So if you're looking for more than CarPlay, more than just Android Auto, if you're looking for fast processor, internet access, Google Play Store to download additional applications, YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, direct satellite radio onto this unit, look no further. We're going to be bringing this JK up to speed, up to today's technology with this brand new solution. What do you say we take a look at what's inside? So with the solution, we'll be able to take you from this low-tech, no features, no functions, very low-tech radio, and we will also be able to help you get rid of accessories that hold your phone on your dash, that distract you and make your dashboard look ugly and nasty. Because guess what? Your brand new infotainment display will be able to do everything that your phone has the ability to do, but now it'll be displayed on a much nicer display. Check this out. More entertaining like this. Let's take the unit out. Let's take a look at what it consists of. But before we get into anything else, don't forget, just like every single one of our units, you're going to get a welcome letter. This is where we provide you with a phone number and email address so that you can reach out to us directly any time of the day, weekdays or weekends. We are here for you. Just take a look at the comments and how satisfied our customers are, because we are here to provide answers to your questions, support when you need it, as far as helping you through the installation process, including being able to provide you with a SIM card for your brand new radio. Don't forget that. So this brand new solution consists of a 13-inch HD display. It has 128 gigabytes of built-in memory. It also has 8 gigabytes of processing speed. Basically, what you're doing with this unit, if you have ever installed a doubled-in radio, this is basically what you're doing here. It already comes pre-assembled. We will go over all of the connections on the back of the radio. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the bracket. Basically, what you're doing is just like you would install a doubled-in radio, you would need an installation kit, an installation bracket. That's what this does. This is what's going to allow us to be able to support this 13-inch display onto your dash, and it'll basically snap in like this. So you're going to prepare this just like you would prepare to install a doubled-in radio. The only difference is we are including all of the plug-and-play harnesses so that you're not having to hardwire your power speaker connectors, your grounds, your ignitions, your constant 12 volts. It already includes a CAN bus module, so your steering wheel controls will stay functional, as well as a backup camera function. So whenever you put the vehicle into reverse, the radio will automatically switch into reverse backup camera mode. Now keep in mind, some of these JKs, if not all of them, didn't come with a backup camera. So if you need assistance with installing a backup camera onto your JK, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you with a 720p AHD resolution type backup camera. Now this is everything that is included in the package. You have all of your antennas. You have Wi-Fi antennas, GPS antennas, 4G LTE antennas. They are labeled. For example, the 4G antennas have this right angle coax-like connector, and they're labeled 4G. This happens to be your Wi-Fi antenna. It is labeled Wi-Fi, and it is a straight type connector. So when you talk about the 4G antennas, it's two of them, and it's one Wi-Fi antenna. There is one GPS antenna. The antenna itself is labeled on the back. It also has a right angle coaxial style plug. You also have a microphone. The microphone has two different types of mounting options. You can stick it directly onto the windshield, or you can use the clip-on. This is going to clip onto your A-pillar plastic panel. Now, there is an option to maintain function of the factory microphone. You don't have to. If you would like to, you require an additional module. But some people have a thing with factory microphones. The one that we include works perfectly fine. So you don't have to go through that route. But if you'd like to, we can help you do that as well. Now, this harness here is very busy. This harness has your front camera input. It has your CVBS. If you don't have an AHD type camera, you have a CVBS camera input. It also has a video output. Now you also have your front RCA outputs in case you want to add an aftermarket amplifier. It also has your remote turn-on wire, which is blue and it's labeled amp EN. It also has your subwoofer output. It has your microphone input, and it also has your 4G LTE SIM card holder. You notice that this particular cable is a little long, and that's basically made that way just in case you're not ready for a SIM card the day of the installation. You can leave this port, this case, in an easily accessible location. What I'm going to do in a little bit, I'm going to show you how to load the SIM card onto this tray. So now that we've gone over that, let's talk about the backup camera input harness. It is labeled reverse camera input. If you want to add an aftermarket reverse camera, you can use this one to feed your camera input signal through here. On this same harness, we have a red wire and a black wire. You can use these two wires to provide your aftermarket camera with power. So your aftermarket camera is going to have a video cable with two additional wires on it. Those additional wires are designed to provide power to the camera. Well, you don't have to go looking for power for your camera anywhere else. It is included on the same harness. You're not going to be using these other two wires. Make sure that if you're not using these wires during the installation, tape them up so that the gel tips don't fall off in the process of you putting all of these cables back into the dash. So having said that, we're going to go over this particular harness. This harness has your rear RCA outputs, but it also has this 8-pin plug with some wires on it. Pay attention to this because the main harness, which plugs into the power speaker connector of your factory radio, has this white plug with two wires on it. So what you're going to want to do is, yes, this goes into the back of the radio, but this plug here has to connect to this other harness. If you don't connect this, that means that your factory, your data from the car isn't communicating with the new radio. So you want to make sure that you make use out of this junction here. Now on the main harness, you also have this two female plugs with male pins. So these are two female plugs. This is the male connector. Depending on whether you have a factory amplified or non-factory amplified audio system, it is labeled no amp and it's labeled with amp. So whether you have the factory Alpine audio system or you don't, you want to make sure that you plug this in accordingly. In this case, we have a non-factory amplified audio system, so we're just going to go ahead and use the one that's labeled no amp. There's some additional wires on here. You are not going to be using these wires. Make sure that you tape them up so that the gel tips don't fall off in the process of you pushing all these harnesses in there. The CAN bus module will probably come disconnected from the main harness. Make sure that you plug it in. There's only one plug, so there is no way to get this wrong. So that's it for the main harness, and then you have the main power speaker connector to your new radio, which is this one right over here. So that's it as far as harnesses. You also have your antenna adapter. This is what the factory antenna plugs into. This is going to be the plug that goes into your new radio. You're also going to have a USB input. So this right here, if you notice, it says 4-pin USB line, and on the other side it says phone link. Although Android Auto and CarPlay are both wireless. You can use this USB cable to plug it in as well. So they are wireless, but you can also do it wired. In addition to that, we have an additional USB input. This is in case you want to plug in a thumb drive with music files, movies, or music videos. This is what you're going to use to be able to do that. So that's it as far as harnesses and connectors. This is the metal bracket. Sorry, this is the plastic bracket that we were talking about. This bracket can only go in one direction. There's no way for you to mount it upside down. You can tell because there is a straight line and then there is a pin that goes in here from the factory panel. So aside from that, here is the back of the radio. So on the back of the radio, we have your main power speaker connector. You have all of your accessory plugs up here. You have an HDMI out right over here. You have a Toslink fiber optic output. You have your GPS connection. You have 1 and 2 4G LTE antenna connectors. There is no 1 or 2. There is no left or right. There just happens to be 2 different ones. So it doesn't matter which one you plug into where. And then you also have the Wi-Fi antenna right over here. And that's it as far as the connectors go. We're going to go ahead and plug these in here, and then we're going to make the connections into the car because it's easier to do it while you have this out than trying to fight it once you have this installed and doing it this way. So we'll show you how that's done in a second, and we'll go from there. So while we're at it, we're going to talk about the SIM card function. Now, keep in mind that in the cellular world, these devices are known as unauthorized because this is not an Apple device and it's also not a Samsung device. So when they ask you for an IMEI number and you provide them with it, they will not know what to do with this device. They will not know what kind of data plan to provide you with so that they can activate a SIM card for you. So you're going to hassle back and forth with the stores in person. You're going to hassle with the reps over the phone. If you happen to call them, they will not know what to do with it. So we have provided a simplified way of being able to help you obtain a SIM card for these radios. All you have to do is let us know. Long story short, there's only one data plan available for these radios. Usually T-Mobile outside of us will charge you about $60 a month for an unlimited data plan. And this is the unlimited data plan that has no data caps. Most providers say that they provide you with an unlimited data plan, but after 10, 15 gigabytes, it goes into slow mode, which means there is a data cap. Now, with this particular activation program, there are no caps. Not only that, this new head unit will now also tether Wi-Fi hotspot to other devices in the vehicle. That's how unlimited this data plan is. If you were to go through T-Mobile, the same data plan would be about $60, as I previously mentioned. And they will charge you for the SIM card and they will charge you an activation fee. In this case, reach out to us. We will provide you with our rep's contact information. We'll send you a link. All you have to do is fill out a form. And once that form is filled out, we get notification. We then put that SIM card in the mail for you. You will get it in 2 days. There is no additional cost for the SIM card. There is no additional cost for shipping or for activation. And that data plan is $50 a month. And you will have unlimited access to the internet so that you can enjoy all of your favorite applications. But how do you load a SIM card in there? Once you get the SIM card has a large, medium, and small sizes. This pink one is the large one. The gray one is the medium one. So that's the one you're going to use. So you're going to break the SIM card out of the card, just like this. And you're not going to use the pink frame. We're going to be using the gray frame. Now, once you do that, all you have to do is you're going to slide open the SIM card holder. I'm going to slide it this way with my thumb. I'm using my index finger to hold the tray as I push that way with my thumb. I'm going to flip it open. This metal piece, all you have to do is slide it down with your fingernail, and it's going to flap open just like that. Once you have your SIM card, pay attention because the SIM card has a notch on one of the corners. The metal contacts are going to be facing down. That contact and the notch happens to be in the upper left-hand side. So once that SIM card is in place, put the metal flap back on it, push it down with your thumb, and slide it up. And so now that SIM card is in place, and all you have to do now is close the flap, and that's how you insert the SIM card, and you're ready to go. All you have to do is load it in there, turn the radio on, and your data plan is ready to go. So what do you say we get started with the installation? The installation process in this Jeep is fairly simple. This particular one happens to have this accessory that someone previously installed in here. All they did was they took the screw that's in the middle of this top tray and they basically dropped this accessory in here and they put that screw back in, all for the sake of being able to have their phone in front of them so that, guess what, they can look at maps, they can look at videos, they can easily access phone information, text messages. Well, guess what, guys? We're no longer going to need this because the new infotainment display will be able to do all of that, but much better. But anyway, since we're in the installation topic, all you have to do is pop this switch panel out, and you can use a plastic trim panel tool to pop that out. There is a screw back there. Now, this entire piece is held together, so it's all one piece with the plastic trim that goes around the instrument cluster. There are two screws behind the instrument cluster down here where this bottom panel is. So the plastic panel underneath the steering wheel column basically needs to pop out to expose those two screws. This switch that has your window up and down switches needs to pop out to expose the other screw. So let me show you how you do that. There's one of the screws. And on the opposite side is the other one. You cannot miss it. There's the other one. Now the switches have this special locking mechanism that you're going to need to be able to. All you have to do is move this red tab up, and then you push this clip down to be able to disconnect the window switches. And there is the other screw. And I had previously removed the other screw that was on top of the tray to remove the accessory. But now that that's there, we're going to put the steering wheel column down, which already is. And we can now completely pull this panel out of the way. And so, as I previously mentioned to you, this bracket that we include, there's no way to get it wrong because all you have to do is make sure you match the factory radio bracket, which means the holes on top and the long opening is down at the bottom. So you cannot put this like this because you wouldn't be matching that. So just make sure you follow that right after you remove 4 screws. So here is our radio, orange. This white one is your AM/FM antenna. And this is your main power speaker connector. So this is perfect because we could talk about mounting your GPS antenna here, your Wi-Fi, and your 4G LTE antennas don't necessarily have to be mounted because they're not looking for any outside signal. Wi-Fi, it's between you and your phone inside the vehicle. And the 4G LTE antennas, those things will get service regardless, just like your phone is able to get service inside of buildings, inside of elevators. The 4G LTE antennas will do perfectly fine. But if you must, there is this air duct right over here. You can clean the surface and you can mount them right back there. This is for your GPS antenna right up on top. So this here would be your path to the microphone. If you choose to use the included microphone, you would want to stick yourself up to the windshield, and you're going to want to zip tie yourself onto the factory harnessing, which runs along the back side of the instrument cluster and into the back of the radio. Now, if you decide you want to use the factory microphone, then contact us. We have a separate module that we can refer you to. That way you can basically digitize the factory microphone through the separate module, which is going to make you sound from the car so much better. Okay, so now that I have all of my antennas mounted, GPS antennas right up here, I have the two 4G LTE antennas there, and the Wi-Fi antenna is right below those two. Now, I've also ran the microphone cable, and that's already all here. All of the excess cable, I like to zip tie it together, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put it all back here. Now remember, the new screen is gonna have all this cavity to be able to manage all the wiring, so you have plenty of room. All that I like to do is make sure that I have all of my antenna cables here. That way I don't forget any of them along with the microphone plug, just like that. Okay, so very next step, after having our antennas mounted, we have routed the USB inputs to the glove box. It's very simple. Straight shot from here, you can pull them out. The SIM card holder is also here, so if you're not ready to load one in during the installation process, you can leave it there, easily accessible. We now have those plugs right over here. This is the harness that has the SIM card. All the other audio plugs that I'm not using, I tape them together. The wires that I'm not using, they're taped together. Here's my microphone input, plugs into the radio, USB plugs into the radio. This is my antenna adapter already plugged in. The very next step is to put the trim plate in there and start working on putting in the main power plug, which is gonna go into this one here. Don't forget, you want to make sure that the side panel matches the radio, which is the hole on top, long square opening on the bottom, hole on top, long square opening on the bottom. And so all we're going to do next is just bring all of our connectors over through here, because this is where the new radio is going to slide right in. So here we have all of our connectors, including all of the antenna plugs. What we're going to do next is we're going to reassemble the dash panel here, because the big screen is the last thing that's going to connect to these connectors, and then it's going to snap into this opening here. And if you put the screen in now, then you won't be able to put the other panel in because it won't fit through the factory opening. Okay, so I now have all of my connectors plugged in, all of my antennas, all of my accessory plugs. There's only one that's going to be left open, and that's this one right over here, right next to your RCA antenna harness. Main power plug is already here. Only thing left is my AM/FM antenna. This is a little short one, so you want to make sure that you bring that one in so that the radio itself is close to the dash when you go make that connection. Other than that, you're gonna stuff all of your harnesses in here, and then you're gonna snap this radio in place like this. So the tall part of the screen goes to the top and the short part of the screen goes to the bottom. And just like that, you now have a brand new infotainment display. Let's go ahead and fire it up for the first time. Upon the initial installation, it will have a slow boot, but this is because it's getting powered for the first time. And so don't forget, it comes with this protective coat, and this thing is very sturdy in there. It's not a gooseneck or a ball joint holding the screen. It is actually in there pretty well. So this is AM/FM. Now remember, steering wheel controls, so volume up, volume down, it's already working. You can see it in here. So if I swipe up, so these are my presets. I'm gonna press the track up function on the steering wheel, and track up, track down is already working as well. So let me lower the volume. So this is track up, and this is just sort of going through presets right now. I'm assuming this is daytime. I'm gonna show you what nighttime looks like. So if I turn on the headlights in the truck, in the Jeep. So this would be nighttime. Just so you know, it is all controlled by our CAN bus module, which is included in the kit. So I just turned the lights off. This is now day mode. Volume up and down. Since my ignition is on, I'm gonna throw it in reverse. It's gonna switch into backup camera mode, but remember, there is no backup camera in these vehicles, so it's gonna come up and say no signal. Keep that in mind. The door open, door close is already detecting, so I'm gonna close the back door and I'm gonna open it. So that's already being detected. 4G LTE antenna is also already up and running, and that's why the date and time is already set. This button here in the middle is gonna bring me to my home screen. So right now, it's asking me to sign in to, I believe this is Google Maps. So this is already, let me skip that. So this is Google Maps, already detecting where I am. Let's get closer to the screen so we can go over a couple of functions, features, and how to together. Let's go over some basic functions. Let's go back to the home screen. You're gonna see here on the home screen, it's going to be divided into 3 different sections, which is the middle, top right, bottom right. In here, it hasn't located me yet, so I'm going to come into settings and I'm going to turn on automatic position. And I'm going to close this, and I'm going to let it take its time to sort of relocate itself because we're already connected to a cellular network. Remember, this is dependent on you connecting it to a Wi-Fi hotspot or a 4G LTE cellular service. So is Google Maps right over here. So from the top you have volume up and down. You can also drag it up and down. All right, so from the top down, you're also going to have the left arrow is going to bring you back one page, and the square is going to take you to all of the different applications that you have running. Every so often, touch that square and hit clear all just so that the cache memory of the radio doesn't get bogged down. You can tell that the weather app has already located me, and that's good. Down at the bottom, we have shortcuts to different applications. This happens to be navigation, which will take you to Google Maps. Again, the circle in the upper left-hand corner is going to bring you back home. Car Auto, this is going to be your CarPlay application. We haven't paired our phone to it yet. We'll do that shortly. So we're going to swipe down, hit the home button. Music, this is USB input. So if you have any music on a USB thumb drive, I'm going to show you that in a second. Video, HD movies. So if you have any videos in there, that's where you're going to be accessing them. You also have Bluetooth. This is if you can care less. If you can care less for the CarPlay Android Auto function, then this is where you would come to pair your phone to a new device. So you're going to search for Bluetooth devices and you'll see different devices pop up. Let's go back to the home screen. Once your phone is paired, you want to direct access to Bluetooth music. This is where you're going to go. Currently, it's telling me that there's no device that's connected. It's asking me if I want to go there. I'll press OK, and it's going to bring me here. Back to the home screen. Radio, this is shortcut to AM/FM, and so that's kind of what you saw earlier. This is the home page once again. Let me go ahead and turn the lights on. So notice how this also has a night mode, which looks very nice. And so then turn the lights off. This is now day mode. So not only does the screen go dark, but the brightness also dims. And so again, from top down, you have time and date, signal strength, Wi-Fi indicator, and then the HD DTS audio out is already enabled. Other than that, here it is, shortcut to radio, shortcut to the weather app, shortcut to maps. Let's go ahead and press and hold this part of the screen here, tap it once. So then that's it as far as the home screen. Why don't we pair our phone up to this radio so that we can demonstrate how CarPlay Android Auto works. Okay, so in here, we're going to talk about CarPlay connectivity. Notice that here we have the Car Auto, which means this is the CarPlay application. If you want to see the Android Auto, swipe over to the left, and this would be your Android Auto application. There's two separate ones. It's not one handling both. It's one or the other. If you want to bring your Android Auto application to your shortcuts, press and hold this area. And in here, you can select any one of the different applications. So instead of having Bluetooth and Bluetooth music, I'm going to bring in Android Auto. So now I have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay in the same area. So CarPlay starts off as a Bluetooth connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to go over to Bluetooth since I got rid of it. But you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to go back to the home screen. I'm going to get rid of Android Auto and I'm going to bring back Bluetooth. All right. So how about that? So now I have Bluetooth here again. I'm going to come into Bluetooth. And so I'm going to hit search. On my phone, I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to Bluetooth. And it's already searching for Bluetooth devices. We should see my phone pop up over here. And I'm going to tell it to connect to it. My phone is going to come up and ask me if I want to pair. Once Bluetooth is connected, you'll see the Bluetooth connection here in the upper right-hand corner pop up. So it's already there. Now, as soon as Bluetooth connects, what's going to happen here is this. Now, you could do this after you're connected to Bluetooth. So right now, we're connected to Bluetooth. This is Bluetooth as we know it. So I can come in here and I can search for any one of my songs, for example. I'm going to play this for a little bit. Let me just do this, play that. So I'm playing a song and I can adjust the volume here on my phone because that's Bluetooth. Drop down. And what I'm going to do is let me adjust the volume. So this is Bluetooth audio. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and pause that. So that's Bluetooth as we know it. All right. Now, if you want CarPlay, you're going to come in and hit the CarPlay application. The radio is going to start to connect. The phone is going to come up and ask me if I want to automatically connect to CarPlay. I guess not, it already did it. So this is CarPlay. Wow, on a screen like this, I'm telling you, it's an entire whole new level. I need to pull back a little bit and really enjoy this so that, let me open the door. And so I'll give you a chance to see it. Let me pull back. And so that right there is CarPlay on this dash. And so again, the beauty about this 13-inch screen is that it's super high def. So even from back here, that screen looks super crisp, very nice. And so that's how you would connect your phone to CarPlay. Now let me go over this here because a lot of people do ask. So what happens now is Bluetooth is no longer handling the CarPlay connectivity. So if you notice, in my list of Bluetooth devices, it doesn't show that I'm connected to this radio. That's because the Wi-Fi function of the phone and the Wi-Fi function of the radio is what's handling Apple CarPlay. Now, if I wanted to turn on Wi-Fi function on my phone because I want to connect to a Wi-Fi network, the minute I tell my phone to turn on the Wi-Fi, it tells me, hey, if you enable Wi-Fi, it's going to disconnect from CarPlay. Again, because the Wi-Fi function of the phone is what allows CarPlay to work. Bluetooth by itself doesn't have enough bandwidth to allow all these features and functions to work. Therefore, it requires a Wi-Fi connection between the radio and the phone. So the same thing, if you said, hey, you know what? I want to go into settings of the radio because I want to use my phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So what'll happen is you go into settings and then you go over to internet Wi-Fi connection. The minute you tell the radio to turn on Wi-Fi, CarPlay is going to drop. Again, because the Wi-Fi connection of the radio and the Wi-Fi connection of the phone is what's handling that connection, is what allows CarPlay Android Auto to work. So it's the same thing on an Android phone like a Samsung or anything like that. This is the reason why we've added the SIM card function, because it allows you to have internet on the radio for any one of your favorite applications, as well as CarPlay connectivity. And that right there, my friend, I'm telling you, you would have so much joy with this radio in your vehicle, because guess what? Now we can log into the Play Store and we can begin to download all of our favorite applications. Why don't we talk about the Play Store? Okay, guys, so here we are. We have entered our @Gmail address and our password. Remember, you need a @Gmail account to be able to log into the Play Store. So you want to make sure that you create a Gmail account email address. I'm going to turn off use basic device backup. I don't want to back up anything to this radio. So I'm going to swipe up and then I'm going to hit accept. And I am now in the Play Store as we all know it. So no, I don't want to earn any points. So at this point, I could come in here and download YouTube, for example. Okay, I'm going to install it. I can come in here and download Netflix. Now remember, I'm doing this with the 4G LTE SIM card data function. I mean, I'm telling you, the connection, that having that in here makes it all so much worth your while, only because now your driving experience is going to be completely different. So I'm downloading Netflix. I have a subscription to YouTube Premium. I also have YouTube Music with that. And so in addition to Netflix, in addition to YouTube, I'm also going to download YouTube Music. Now, YouTube Music does come up in my CarPlay application. However, YouTube Music in my CarPlay application does not allow me to play music videos. I mean, I can download YouTube and do that, but I also like to sometimes see music videos on YouTube Music, which is it's a cool thing to do. So I'm gonna go back to the Play Store where we were downloading our applications. Let me go back here. And so find Play Store. Okay, so we have here Play Store. Let's go back and look for and find out what the status of our Netflix application. It's already installing. I'm gonna also download TikTok. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna also install social media applications. This is download TikTok videos. Now over any network, it says data charges may apply. No, it won't, because I now have says app size 177 megabytes. Now it says when Wi-Fi is available. I'm gonna do it now because I'm doing it through my SIM card function and I have unlimited data, so that doesn't matter. I'm gonna also come in here and download Facebook just because I can. And I'm also going to come in here. So TikTok is downloading. Here comes Facebook. It says pending. I'm gonna also come in here and download Instagram. Guess what? I also have the Ring camera system. So I can download Ring. And what that allows me to do is if someone rings me at the house, it'll pop up on my radio because I'm connected to a network and the application is running in the background. Someone rings me at home, it's gonna pop up on my radio. I can answer back to them through here. I could view my Ring cameras through here. That's how convenient this is. That's how up to date we're gonna put this vehicle. That's how, you know, awesome it is to have all this. So again, I'm just doing that for now. So TikTok. So that's just an example of downloading different applications to the radio. I'm gonna come into YouTube, and that way you could see. That's my account. I'm gonna select that one, and I do subscribe to premium. So I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna look for music, for example. And so now I'm looking for just anything. This is okay. So now I'm turning the volume up. And that's awesome right there. Okay, let me go ahead and pause that before we get hit. And so that's YouTube already running. Let me double check on something here. Do that. Whoops, sorry. Let me go to my okay, so yep, that's YouTube. Here's CarPlay. And so again, guys, I mean, you're navigating through this. You're flying through different applications. Here is my YouTube music on my CarPlay. Let's pause that just because we don't want to get hit with copyrights. So guys, I'm telling you, there are so many different features, so many different functions to this. I mean, you know, the possibilities with this are endless. I'm telling you right now, if you have any questions, any concerns, let me know. We'll be more than happy to assist you. That was CarPlay. That was, you know, downloading applications, radio as far as. Okay, that's sources. That brings me up to another idea. I do have a USB thumb drive that I want to show you plugged in here so that you could see what the HD movies function does. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab that and show it to you. So on the main wire harness, there's gonna be a wire that's labeled handbrake. And if you want to connect that to ground, you can. However, if you saw this earlier, right here, our video is already playing. However, you're gonna get this exclamation mark unless that wire is grounded. Or what you can do is you can come into the home screen, you can go into settings and under others where it says handbrake detection, turn that off, and that will make your video come through. So this happens to be one of the Super Bowl halftime shows that Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg were in. But I mean, take a look at this video quality on the size of the screen. And then in here, I have other music videos. This happens to be the Kendrick Lamar video from the Super Bowl halftime show last year. So This is just to show you the quality of this screen. And remember, I still have that blue temporary screen protector on there. But again, that's how you would bypass the handbrake detection so that the video can play even though the parking brake is not applied. Let me turn this light off just so you could see the quality of the screen a little better. Let me fast forward this just so you could get different parts of it. Fast forward some more. This is just so you can see the quality of this. Turn the volume up a little bit.
Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten.
So this happens to be just off of a USB thumb drive that I have plugged into the USB cable that I ran right over here. Let me turn that light back on just so that you guys could get a chance to see a little better. So this is the USB input that I have plugged into there. And so that's my direct EC access to that. Thank you so much for sticking around. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'm gonna grab the phone, actually my camera, and I'm gonna show you around just so you could see how it looks all the way around, how it fits, and everything else about this setup. Let me go ahead and remove this. That way you guys can get full visibility of what this thing really looks like. And my favorite part about this particular screen is this aluminum trim around the screen. I mean, it makes it look so good. And so, I mean, this right here, you guys, that looks amazing. It's got like an aluminum trim ring around it, an aluminum machine finish all the way around it. But take a look at that just so you could see what it looks like. And so those colors, let me turn the light off. And then one other thing I'm going to show you while we're at it, inside of the different applications, you're going to find a DSP app, which is going to be, my DSP EQ application. Let me go into settings. System settings, and then we're going to come into others. Under EQ, you have 40 bands anywhere between 18,000 hertz and 16 hertz. You can, where it says custom, you can adjust your own. Okay, you can adjust your own. That would be custom 1. All right, or if you move from custom to the next one, that's custom 2, custom 3, and then you get into preset EQ settings. So these are different preset EQ settings, and then you go back to custom 1, for example. You could do it that way. You can hit curve, and now you can come in and you can draw your own curve. Back in custom 1, I can draw my own curve and tell my EQ what I want it to sound like. Or you can turn curve off, and you can basically control every single band independently. Now under bass enhancement, this is where you have your subwoofer output crossover settings. You can turn that off, or you can set it to play anywhere between 20 hertz all the way to 2050 hertz, all the way to 250 hertz. And this would be your subwoofer gain control. This is your subwoofer output independently. This is one of your subwoofer settings. Once you hit subwoofer here, You can also change the subwoofer frequency here from 20 hertz all the way to 250 hertz, and you can adjust the gain here. Now, the amplifier on and off, that's the remote turn on output. If you don't turn this on, then your amp remote output will not have power. You gotta make sure you come in and turn that on. And so sound field settings, this is so you can, what I like to do, instead of being able to measure the speakers between your ears and each and every one of your speakers, I go to easy mode, and then I can select it so that it's for myself. I can change the stage, whether I want it to sound like it's for me, or if I want to put the stage in the center, whether I have a passenger with me, or if I want it to basically be for everybody. And then all my speakers are going to play at the same time. So all this is doing, it's delaying the the speakers so that they basically come to your ears at different times to make it sound like the stages on the driver, the stages on the passenger, the stages in the dash. That way you could do that. So this here under wave filter, you can adjust your high level outputs, your front RCAs, your rear RCAs. These are your fronts, these are your rears. So you can tell, basically, you don't have to adjust your crossover on the amplifier. You can adjust it here. You basically have your high pass filter from 20 to 250 hertz, and your high pass filter from 3,000 to 20,000 hertz. You can also adjust it there, and that's for your fronts and your rears. So there's a lot of controls that you have. It's a built-in DSP application that you would normally not have on your average radio, but this radio here happens to not be average. You're getting so much for your money. I'm telling you, it's nothing like it out there. Okay, so this time we will say thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, feel free to comment, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you once again for sticking around. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one. And so this is for a lot of you guys who are wondering how it fits along the backside. It is nicely stacked up and up away from your dash. It has support all the way through the front and the back. So when you're touching the screen, it doesn't have any places where it can get bogged down or anything like that. So it doesn't shake. It's nice and sturdy all the way across. And the vents aren't blocked because, as you can see, this is where I can adjust it so that the air flows towards me. Same thing with the passenger. Maybe from the other angle it looked that way, but from this angle, I still have to put the window switches in there, put the screw in there, but I just wanted to show you how and where, from my perspective, which is the driver's side's perspective, I want you to see where the vents are, and you can see they're not being blocked at all.